Why, hello. My name is, apparently Emily Santapass. So, actually, that's my real name, so Emily Santapass. As you notice, the last three letters of my last name says ass, which is a very good thing to keep in mind. Emily Ass. Alright, this is my first official video. Very happy to be here, and I just want to say, honestly, I feel like a famous person every time I come to YouTube. I had an old channel, and then I moved it to this channel because my old channel got hacked into because I signed on at school and forgot to sign off, and they changed my password. Boo-hoo. So my last one is Emily Jello. This is Emily Santapass, my entire name. So pedophiles would be lining up by my doorway. I really doubt that, but that's what everyone says, like, don't give away your personal information, or don't do this, don't do that. So, first official video, and it's going to be hedgehog hair. I'm excited. Love hedgehogs. Not gonna lie. I got one right here. Right there. Right there. Actually, if it was like a regular thing there on the side, never mind. So, just getting right into it. First three things you need to know about hedgehog hair. Number one, they do not smell. Number two, they're nocturnal and loud as fuck. Number three, they are sort of social. I'm not going to say completely social because they're barely social. Alright, number one, going to start with health because that's the top priority of having a hedgehog. When you get a hedgehog, you're going to look for certain things that tells that they're healthy, like a full back of quills. Yes, hedgehogs have quills. This is my African pygmy hedgehog, Rose. She's 2 years old, and she's pretty healthy, but she does have mites. She's had mites for a while, and she needs some new medicine. So here's her quills, and they look pretty healthy. Oh, I can't. There. There is Rose's quills. You want to make sure that there are no ingrown quills. Ingrown quills look like giant pimples, and they're really fucking disgusting. So you either want to take them to a vet to take that out, or gently extract it yourself. But unless you have experience with that, I suggest you don't. You want to look for nice black eyes. Blue could detect that there's a cataract, and I'm going to take Rose out again. I'm sorry, Rose. I know you hate me. Alright. There's Rose's eyes. They are kind of blue, which I'm worried about. But a lot of hedgehog eyes I see are blue. You want to look for a nice clean nose. Like Rose. She has a clean nose, but she won't stop moving it, so she won't let you see. You want to look for nice white teeth. Hedgehogs have naturally clean teeth, so I don't have to worry about brushing. You want to look for four toes on each paw. I think it's 4 or 5. I'm not really sure. Anyways, so you want to look for nice clean nails, unless they have a wheel inside the cage that they're getting them at. If you want to buy a healthy hedgehog right from the start, get it from a breeder. Avoid pet stores at all costs. They suck. Seriously, they really suck. So, breeder, yes. Pet store, maybe. Kijiji, probably not. Hedgehogs don't really get a lot of health problems. They're generally healthy animals. But 3 things are very common in hedgehog health. 1, they will probably more than likely get mites. This happens pretty often. It's found inside wood shavings, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. They're found outside, all these other places where you could bring your hedgehog possibly, and they infect your hedgehog's back and push out quills. If you see that your hedgehog's losing quills, do not freak out right away because it isn't one of those mites. Sometimes your hedgehog will be quilling if you get them as a baby, so baby could just be growing in new quills. They also could just have dry skin, so you could take them to put them olive oil on their back, and they should be good for that. You can, but if you do see a hedgehog losing quills, it's an adult, you should probably take it to the vet vet will tell you what to do. But if your vet prescribes Invermex, slap them in the fucking face, because it just sends a death sentence to your hedgehog. Always make sure it's Revolution. Revolution is the best thing you can get for your hedgehog. Won't work the best, but it's safer for your hedgehog. The second thing, wobbly hedgehog syndrome. You may ask, like, what is that, Emily? And I'm like, it's exactly what it sounds like. Your hedgehog will become very wobbly. It'll get paralyzed from the waist down, but not exactly from the waist down. May spread through the body. You can't avoid it. I mean, you can't avoid it. Hold on. Anyways, you cannot avoid wobbly hedgehog syndrome. Your hedgehog is either born with it or develops it later on in life, which is born with it. So, if your hedgehog, you find out that your hedgehog is kind of wobbly, there are other things that mimic wobbly hedgehog syndrome, so you can just go to your vet, not right away. If you see that hedgehog's kind of wobbly, kind of lethargic, not waking up very well, probably going into hibernation, which is fatal for hedgehogs. All you gotta do, keep your hedge nice and warm, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. So, you want to, that's not it. If your hedgehog's been wobbly for a couple of weeks now, take your hedgehog to the vet, because the last thing you want to do is just let your hedgehog suffer. And there isn't a cure for wobbly hedgehog syndrome, but there definitely is an influence you can put on it and make your hedgehog's life a lot easier. Number 3, tumors. These are not as common as wobbly hedgehog syndrome or mites, but they can still happen. Best way to avoid it is keep your hedgehog healthy and nice and exercised, which I will get to in a minute. Hygiene. Hedgehogs generally need a very nice clean cage with clean bedding all the time. They need a bath every time they get dirty, and they need their nails nice and clean and trimmed. So you trim their nails, not to the quick, just before the quick, and you can find videos on that if you do have some trouble with that. You just saw me itch my hand. If you hold your hedgehog for the first time, put them back in their cage, your hands may be a little itchy. My hands are still doing this after a year of having rows. And it's normal, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you start breaking out in hives, you should probably get to a fucking hospital and then go give away your hedgehog, because chances are you probably have a allergy to your hedgehog. You don't break out in hives for nothing, like me. Once I did that, like, what the hell? So another thing about hygiene is you can't bathe your hedgehog too much, or else it just stresses them out. You don't want to do that too much. I'm going to talk about food and nutrition. Hedgehogs are insectivores, so they need lots of protein, but low fat, because hedgehog obesity it's just like common. But if you notice that your hedgehog's too thin, maybe you should go up on the fat, because hedgehog is supposed to be pleasantly plump. Not fat, plump. So, Rose was kind of thin when I first got her. She was, oh god, she was tiny, tiny little thing. And so what I did was I got her some fattening meow mix, and I got her a wheel, and now she's a normal size for an adult hedgehog. So if you see that hedgehog too obese, lower on the fat, keep with the protein though. If you see that your hedgehog's a little too thin, lower on the fat, keep with the protein. You always want to stay stable with the protein. You can feed them insects as treats. You can get them freeze-dried mealworms. Not the best idea. You should probably get them live. Freeze-dried mealworms have a chemical in them that can cause tumors and cancer. So you just want to keep your hedgehog at the live insects. Don't take insects from outside because you don't really know where they are, but yeah, just be careful with the insects you feed them. They really like crickets and mealworms. So keep an eye on for that, and you can go to any pet store that handles exotic pet foods and stuff like that, and just go and pick up some mealworms and stuff. Feed them to your hedgie, they'll be fine. So I think that's it in food and nutrition. With the cages, you're gonna want it to be a big cage. You don't want a little one since they love to explore, they love to run around. I will try and show you the cage I have for my hedgehog. Oh, just gonna. Oh, okay. So nothing's in it because I have all the stuff on my back, so I want to show you. But this is Rose's cage. It's inside of my closet, which I'm trying to show you. The door was already off because I live in Hicktown, so the door was gone, and I just made it into a hedgehog cage, which actually works surprisingly well. Alright, so you can use a guinea pig cage. Those are okay if you don't have a wheel, I guess. A little bit. You don't really want to use a hedgehog cage as a guinea pig cage. Unless you get like the supersized ones. The one I have over there is maybe about 2 feet by 1 foot. It's like really small. So I just made it into a ferret bed. The things you need in your cage, you're going to need a place for your hedgie to hide. Food and water bowl, obviously. Duh. And then you're going to want a wheel. Those are the 3 basic needs. I'm going to show you my hedgehog's house. So, it's just cardboard. Says Rose on it, beware of hedgehog, and do not disturb. It's got a little sheet thing, I just made it. You can get Super Pet igloos. Oh, put that on the ferret. You can get Super Pet igloos and Super Pet domes at any pet store. They're like $5, but I made that for free, and it was easier. If you do not want that, you can use hats. This is Rose's hat. She's in it right now. And they can sleep in it fine, keeps it nice and warm. Easy access to the outside world. And there's Rose. Sleepy hedgehog. Food and water bowl, you want a symmetric one for the water dish, and maybe a shallow one for the food bowl. I got mine at Walmart. It was a cat food dish, really shallow, so it was easy for her to access it. And I used a creme brulee bowl for her water bowl. So she's all set there. For the wheel, you're going to want a solid bottom wheel. Here's her dirty, gross wheel. Hedgehogs will poop on their wheel, so they may have poop stains like this forever. This wheel may need a little bit of work, because look, it's a monster. It's got all these like foam shit on it. It's got tape right near these holes. Let's show you. That's just around there. Yep. Oh, no. I went to sleep again. So, you're going to want a solid bottom wheel. This one is a silent spinner. Not very silent at all when you first get it, because this needs to be tightened. And that's really easy to do. You just got to turn it from the opposite way that it's getting looser, and then it will be a lot more quiet. You can get a comfort wheel. Those ones are pretty loud. I don't recommend it if your hedgehog is not in your room. You can get a Carolina Storm wheel. Those ones are great. You can get them on hedgehogcentral.com. And they're made by Larry, so you can just pick up one of those. Actually, you can't pick them up. You gotta order them, and then they'll order it in, and it costs about $40. A little overpriced, but what you gonna do? So that's it for the wheels. You do not want a cage bottom wheel. Their little toes will get caught and rip off. Like, seriously. I want that for the hedgehog. Long pause. That's all the basics you really need to know about hedgehog care. If you have any questions, comments, just post them in. I know almost everything there is to know about hedgehogs. I know the basic questions. So don't worry, don't be afraid to ask any questions. Alright, and also, thank you for watching this video. I'm very glad to be on YouTube again. Subscribe if you like it. Comment if you feel like it, like if you feel like it, dislike if you feel like it, add me on Facebook if you feel like it. Do what you feel like, because I don't really feel like begging you just to add me on Facebook or whatever. Alright.